Hopefully this thing is on. Let me know if you guys can hear me. We'll do a quick mic check and then we'll get started when everybody kind of shows up. Either way, if you're here this early, welcome. Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. We're going to be diving into the very sad case of Anna Kepner. So we'll just kind of hang out here for maybe five minutes or so. So if you need to grab a drink, refill your coffee, we're gonna do a deep dive. Well, as deep as we can go into this case. There's not a whole lot of information that's been released to the public, but everything that has been released, we're going to look at today. This case is very disturbing. This goes to some of the lessons and some of the things I try to get across to my viewers is that you never know when true crime is going to strike. And normal people just don't suspect it to happen to them. You know, they don't wake up thinking, well, man, am I going to be a victim of true crime? You know, normal people don't think like that. And I know all of us, we're not normal. The Sleuth crew and you guys watching, all you true crime junkies, you know, there's nothing normal about us. I don't know about you, but I'm the paranoid one in my family. Not like a paranoid schizophrenic, you know, or like a crackhead where my blinds are all bent and all fucked up for me looking out the window. No, not like that. I'm just saying I'm suspicious of everyone. You know, my kids aren't allowed to stay the night at other people's homes. And I'm really not comfortable having other people stay here. I just try to do my best to keep them safe and always expect the unexpected. Because the truth is, you never know when you're going to be a victim of true crime. That's the scariest part about it. You don't see it coming. So I think this is the way we're going to lay it out. I've written a monologue that kind of explains that a little bit further. Quite proud of it. So we'll go over that first. I wrote this in honor of Anna. And then we're going to go ahead and look at a brief overview that I pulled from, I think it was Chat GPT or People Magazine, one of the two. It just basically explains who Anna Kepner was, all of her basic information. And then from there, we're going to go into all of the court documents. Now, these court documents were filed by the parents of the accused. Kind of panicking over the situation because Anna's stepbrother has been labeled, according to these court documents, as suspect number one. It doesn't sound like they have any evidence or solid proof against him. So we're going to kind of break down the case, and I'm going to get your guys' opinion on whether or not you think he is a viable suspect. And we'll do our best not to jump the gun. You know what I mean? We're going to start from the inside and work our way out. So how do we begin? We always start with the victimology, right? Now, why do we do that? We need to determine whether or not Anna was a high risk or a low risk victim. Just taking it at face value, I would say she's low risk. But you can have a low risk victim and put them in a high risk situation. So we're going to go over all the evidence that I have. So we're going to start with my monologue. I was going to save it for the end, but I think it should set the tone fairly well. And we'll move over to who Anna was and a quick overview of the case, go through all of these court documents. And that's where we're going to find most of the information about the stepbrother being under an FBI investigation as a prime suspect. That should take up some time. We got a lot of documents to go over. And then I have a video. I think it's about 16 minutes long. It'll be the stepmother, Chantel. She's in court and she's kind of testifying. We're going to watch a video, a quick interview from Anna's ex-boyfriend shortly after her murder, Josh, where he also implicates Anna's stepbrother, 16-year-old stepbrother, saying that he believes he's the prime suspect. I will take a quick look inside the type of room that Anna was in, and then we're going to open up the rest for discussion. All right. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. Make sure you're participating in the poll as well. Okay, if somebody's in the chat, just let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, and if the video is okay. Make sure the quality's all right. Been having some issues with StreamYard. All right, Phil, thank you. All right, let's get going. We'll try to make this one try to cram all this information in and spend most of the time on the discussion on the tail end. Okay. So like I said, we're going to start with the monologue. We'll move over to a basic overview of the case. We're going to look at all the court documents, emergency motion for temporary relief. We're going to look at Chantel's her response to that. We don't have the motion, but we do have Chantel's response to petition, to another petition for contempt and enforcement. Whoop. I think these are backwards. Let's see. Yeah, I need to put that in order. And then she also filed, I guess I can put this one at the end. What the hell? And then also on that same date, she filed a motion for non-dissemination order to try to protect her minor son, who is now a suspect in the murder of Anna. All right, so let's begin. True crime doesn't announce itself. It doesn't knock. It doesn't wait for the moment when you're ready to understand it. It arrives quietly on an ordinary day, in an ordinary family, behind doors that look just like everyone else's. We like to believe there are warning signs, red flags, something obvious we could point to later and say, there, that's when it all started. You guys know where I got that, right? But the truth is, sometimes the red flags are faint. Sometimes they look like stress, like grief, like someone having a bad year, like a family just trying to survive. And sometimes this is the hardest part. Even when you don't miss the red flags, even when you see them, you still could never imagine where they lead. Because no one wakes up thinking, today I'll discover my family is capable of the unthinkable. No one expects to learn that the person who tucked them in at night, or shared holidays, or laughed across the dinner table is capable of annihilating an entire family. No one expects to find out years later that their father, their brother, their spouse was living a second life, a violent one, a secret one, a life that ends with the words serial killer attached to a name you once trusted. True crime doesn't just strike victims, it strikes families, it strikes futures. It rewrites memories you thought were safe. And the most unsettling truth of all is this: most of these stories don't begin with monsters. They begin with people, people who loved, people who were loved, and people no one ever thought to fear. Okay, so who was Anna? Who's Anna Kepner? Anna Kepner was an 18-year-old high school senior from Titusville, Florida, a cheerleader and student with plans to graduate in 2026 and possibly join the U.S. Navy. And this is what happened to Anna. Anna was on a family carnival cruise, Carnival Horizon in the Caribbean, in early November of 2025 with her father, stepmother, and siblings. On November 7th, 2025, her body was discovered under a bed in her cabin. The death was ruled a homicide with mechanical asphyxia, aka suffocation, listed as the cause of death on her death certificate, meaning somebody deprived her of oxygen. So I don't know if that's the same as strangulation. It sounds like maybe somebody covered her mouth, maybe with a pillow or something like that. Welcome in, GP. We got Phil Bond, GP. Fishy was here earlier. Okay, so the FBI is investigating her death as a homicide, but as of the most recent reports, no criminal charges have been publicly filed. Her 16-year-old stepbrother, with whom she was sharing the cabin, has been identified in court filings as a suspect under investigation, though authorities have not named him or charged him. And we're going to go over all of those documents. So, released court documents and media reports show the family dealing with custody disputes and efforts to limit public details about the case. Authorities have not released the full autopsy or toxicology reports publicly, and many details remain part of an ongoing investigation. All right, let me put these up on the screen in case you guys want to read along. Maybe we need to zoom in a bit. There we go. Okay, so the date, 11/17/2025. Thomas Hudson, who is the father of the suspect, 16-year-old suspect, and the ex-husband is Chantel Hudson. Chantel was Anna's stepmother. This was an emergency motion for temporary relief. Okay, there are two remaining minor children that are subject to the action. TH, date of birth 2009, and BH, date of birth 2016. So we have a 14-year-old boy, or let's see, 14-year-old boy and a 16-year-old that she was staying with in the same room. The oldest child of the parties reached age 18 while in the care of a petitioner. The adult child of the parties alleged a violent altercation between himself, the mother, and her paramour that led to him residing with the petitioner. So the eldest child is 18. He's not the accused. He's saying that when he turned 18, shortly after he turned 18, he refused to go back with the mother. So the mother and new husband showed up, I believe, at the school and basically kidnapped him. So he went to court, and we're going to learn more about that throughout the stream. So he's kind of painting this image of a violent stepfather who is the actual biological father of Anna. He claims that Anna's father actually almost choked him out during the altercation. So the adult child of the parties alleged a violent altercation between himself, the mother, and residing with the petitioner. And the petitioner is the father. So after the altercation, he just remained with Thomas Hudson, the father of the accused and the father of this person being mentioned in court documents. I think his name is Andrew. Andrew Hudson. Okay, the party's 16-year-old child has been residing with the respondent. The respondent has denied the petitioner's time sharing with the remaining minor children. The respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise with the stepchild of her paramour. The 16-year-old child is now a suspect in the death of the stepchild during the cruise. So this is the first time we actually hear of any suspect in the killing of Anna. While released from custody, the 16-year-old child is residing with a third party. The parties were granted a final judgment of dissolution of marriage on February 21st, 2023, in Lee County, Florida, despite the parties residing during their marriage in Hernando County. So, I mean, this is a fairly new marriage, 2023. And it also looks like while these guys are getting married, the father of the accused is also shortly after married. Okay. An order ratifying joint stipulation to modify parenting time was entered on April 10th, 2024, in Lee County, Florida. The joint stipulation to modify parenting time was made an order of the court. The petitioner was ordered to have parenting time with the children. The respondent is denying the petitioner parenting time with the two youngest children and has denied his order parenting time since her relocation. So she doesn't want the kids to go over there because she's afraid that her son might actually be a murderer. Like, she has reason to believe that he may have killed Anna. He's the prime suspect. Like, there's no solid proof or nothing publicly that he actually did this. But I mean, he's under investigation right now as the prime suspect. Does that mean he did it? No. It just means that he's most likely the person that did it, right? Occam's razor. Denied his ordered parenting time since her relocation. So he's saying, by law, you're going to bring my kids back over here. She's saying, hell no, I don't trust you. I don't think you're going to protect them from what's coming. The oncoming storm created by potentially the 16-year-old or by the death of Anna. The respondent is willfully violating the orders of the court. The respondent is continuing to alienate the two youngest children from the petitioner. The parties' agreement regarding relocation was supposed to be reviewed at the end of the 2024-2025 school year. The 16-year-old's future has been put in jeopardy because of the choices made by the respondent. The petitioner has not been allowed input into the children's lives, and his lack of involvement has negatively impacted the children. The youngest child is at immediate risk of abuse, abandonment, or neglect in the care of the respondent. The petitioner has retained the undersigned attorney and is duly indebted to the same for the reasonable fees and costs incurred in this matter. Placing the youngest child in the care of the petitioner, addressing the placement of the 16-year-old child, awarding the father additional parenting time based upon the denial of parenting time, right? Like time with their children is like some kind of credit. Requiring that the parties cooperate with appropriate services for the minor children, and awarding the petitioner attorney fees and costs to be paid by the respondent. Jeez. Good luck with that. Yeah. He seems sour. Thomas seems sour, that they separated. She found a new husband. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, well, now I'm going to go get me a new wife. I think Anna turning 18, they might have let their guards down a little bit with her. Okay, mother's response to father's emergency motion for temporary relief. Okay, there are in fact two minor children of the parties, to wit, TH, a male child born in 2009, and BH, a female child born in 2016. Right? You can't have BH hanging around with TH. TH just may have murdered his stepsister. You can't have him in the same house with BH, who was born in 2016. She's not safe. Yeah, this is very disturbing. And this is why true crime scares the shit out of me. Because normal people ignore all the red flags. And even when you don't ignore the red flags, it's just hard to fathom something like this could ever happen to you. The only way to prevent something like this is to expect the unexpected and to live your life as if potentially there's a worst case scenario. Okay, the third and eldest child of the parties has reached the age of 18. However, the father came and removed that child from the mother's care without her consent. Hold on. I thought I had a video of him testifying. Let me see if I still have that. That's going to be important for us to watch. Shit, what did I do with that? Damn it. Let me see if I can find that before I forget about it. Oh, here it is. Okay, slide that over. Damn, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, so we actually have a video of Andrew in court kind of talking about what happened to him and how his mom and his new stepdad basically kidnapped him from school. Okay, the third and eldest child of the parties has reached the age of 18. However, the father came and removed that child from the mother's care without her consent, even after the father signed and agreed to a modification of the parenting plan of the parties to allow the mother to relocate with all three then minor children to Brevard County. In fact, the father allowed the eldest child of the parties to reside with the child's teenaged girlfriend. The father hindered the mother's ability to see the eldest child, claiming that the eldest child did not want to see her. And after he already signed an agreement to allow the mother to relocate with all three, then minor children, to Brevard County. Yeah, try controlling a 17-year-old who's about to turn 18, right? Who was at odds with his mom. And his mom is probably only at odds with him to spite the father. Like, it's disgusting. These altercations, yeah, they don't help anything. There was no violent altercation between the mother and the eldest child of the parties as referenced. In fact, the petitioner, father, attempted to file a petition for protection against domestic violence against the mother, claiming that the mother tried to hit the eldest child of the parties, who is now an adult, while in the vehicle, but the court denied said petition and said the mother and the stepfather were simply preventing the child from his attempt to jump out of the car as he wanted to stay in Hernando County so as to be with his girlfriend. Whew. Sorry, I had a little sneezing attack there. I don't know what it is that's been making me sneeze lately. Let's see. The mother has not at any time denied the father time sharing per the modified parenting plan, except on the date that the mother initially relocated by agreement of the parties to Brevard County. The father has not come nor made any arrangements to come for time sharing with the two remaining minor children. However, the two remaining minor children have each told their father that they do not wish to visit with him due to issues of domestic violence on the petitioner father's part. Currently, there is an open DCF investigation against the petitioner's father due to issues of physical domestic violence by the father against two of the youngest children. It is true that there is an open investigation regarding the death of the biological daughter of the stepfather, and TH is a suspect regarding this death when occurred recently on a cruise ship. Man, how scary is that? She worried. I don't think so. Just came into your live and was going to say hello. Yeah, I don't see you here. I mean, there's no reason that you should be blocked, she worried. Maybe try to go out and come back in. Let me know if you have any issues getting back in. Yeah, but I don't see you in the chat. There's no reason that you should be blocked. But if so, maybe somebody can help fix it, or I'll have to take care of it after the stream. What's up, CJK? Case is very sad and puzzling that there's been no arrest, but in my opinion, the suspect is known. Yeah, but I mean, it's really not known unless you can prove it, right? If you can't prove something, how do you know it? You don't. You just have a bias towards that. It's the same thing. If you can't prove it in court, how do you know it? If you can't show it to somebody else, like the scientific method, if I can't give you the equation and then you reproduce it, it's not a fact. So right now there is no factual evidence against the 16-year-old, but he's just the obvious, right? He's the prime suspect. Yeah, I don't know. Why would I ever block She Warrior? Hold on. Let me see. She Warrior, email me your YouTube channel. The usually it'll say at She Warrior 64 or at She Warrior. Send me that, and then I can just quickly go to your YouTube channel and see if you're blocked, and then quickly unblock you if you are. So email me your YouTube information, the at information. Then I'll get you taken care of. Okay, so and TH is a suspect regarding his death, which occurred recently on a cruise ship. He was seen going into the room, and when he left, no one else entered during that time. But reportedly, there's some DNA left behind of the killer, supposedly. Yeah, I mean, he went in that room. He sleeps there, right? He had to go in the room at some point to get in there and go to bed. The question is, was she already deceased at that time? She could have already been dead, and the crime scene staged. What's really interesting, though, that we're going to find out in these documents, it's going to reveal that the stepbrother said, I don't remember anything. He's like, I can't remember. He's acting as if he blacked out. That's what makes me very suspicious of him. Like if he said, I went in there, everything was normal. I just went to bed. Kind of wondered why nobody else was in there. Or maybe even if he said I was trying to sleep and everybody was being noisy, it sounded like they brought friends home. But instead, he's like, I blacked out. I don't remember. Like he's trying to take countermeasures and he's preparing for that interrogation. I don't know. I just blacked out. Right. That's the easiest thing to say. That's the easiest way to keep your story straight. Oh, I blacked out. Well, can you tell me about this? No, I told you I blacked out. Be easier to keep your story together. With regard to the minor child TH, the party signed a stipulation on or about November 17th, 2025, that the minor child TH will be living with a relative of the respondent mother. This was to ensure the safety of the youngest child of the parties as well as the safety of the remaining child of the stepfather. Yeah, you got to get him out of there until, the investigation is concluded. Because if he is responsible for what happened to Anna, he could do it again. And he will. Okay. Thus, the petitioner father is well aware and has participated in the immediate safety concerns, and he, in fact, agreed to the placement of TH with the mother's relative. So that's where TH is right now. He's with the mother's relative. And I hope that they don't have any young girls there or any women. Hopefully they're safe. I mean, this is fucked up. The mother is also providing counseling for the remaining minor child regarding this tragic situation. Again, the father is aware of this. As stated, there is an open FBI investigation involving TH. However, there are no allegations that the mother abused, neglected, or abandoned either of the minor children, or that she failed to protect the minor children. The father currently has scheduled a hearing for December with regard to time sharing issues. The mother is seeking to continue that hearing due to the allegations against the open FBI investigation regarding TH. The funeral services for the deceased daughter of the stepfather are scheduled for this week, and the family is grieving. God, what a nightmare. What a nightmare. How could you possibly stay with that woman? Right? You just married this woman in 2023, and her son kills your beautiful daughter. I couldn't look at that woman. I mean, there's just, I mean, I have secondhand resentment. God. Yeah, the story leaves a very sick feeling in my stomach. In what world do you expect this to happen? You don't. No normal people would ever expect this or assume that this would happen to their family on a vacation. We don't really ever see that sadistic psychopath, right? Superficial charm kind of keeps us confused about it. You know, something doesn't feel right about this person, but man, they don't seem like a sadistic psycho. Yeah, they're they might be a little bit off when it comes to their sense of humor. I haven't seen footage on this case yet. There really isn't any. It's a weird dynamic. The dad is odd from all I read. Okay, again, there is no emergency at this juncture, and the matter, if the father still intends to pursue the same, should be set on the court's regular calendar. It is certainly not the best interest of TH that any statements regarding the matter that is the subject of an open investigation to be discussed at a civil court proceedings. It is not known why the father brings up as part of his emergency hearing that the case was filed in Lee County. The matter of venue has already been addressed by the court in Lee County, and the court in Lee County ordered that the venue of the case be transferred to Brevard County. Okay. So I actually jumped the gun. That was in response to this here. But we'll skip this one and we'll go right here. Gonna have to do some homework on this. Yeah, this is very disturbing. So I think you guys understand what's going on. This is just proof that TH is actually a suspect. It's not just something that I'm saying. So that's really all these court documents serve, is to kind of make that factual information. Now, I'm not speculating on that. Okay, now let's close these down. Let's go to a video of Chantel, Anna's stepmother, in court.
Do you know Thomas Hudson?
Yes.
And
You're ready, Mr. Smith.
please state your name, ma'am.
Chantal Kepner?
And do you know Thomas Hudson?
Yes.
And how do you know Mr. Hudson?
We were formerly married.
And how long were you married?
Stepmom to Anna right there.
About 12 years.
And you have
Real quick, the GP says so he's a suspect, but he's not. But he's in jail. No, he's not in jail. They're not allowing him to be interviewed. He's not allowed to stay with his father. He's not allowed to stay with his mother over at Anna's home. So he's staying with a relative of his mother. So maybe an uncle, an aunt, maybe even with his grandparents. But yeah, he's not in jail. But my prediction is that he will be arrested very soon. And if he doesn't get arrested, I think there's a good chance that he might not be the suspect. So either he's arrested right away, or he's not the guy, or it's going to turn into a John Benet Ramsey situation where you just never know. And then eventually they'll be accusing the father or the mother or the parents, so on and so forth.
Any children between the two of you?
We have 3 children.
What are their names and ages? And there recently was did you recently go on a cruise?
Yes.
And did any of the children go with you on the cruise? Did you reach out to Mr. Hudson to request that he agree to passports for the children?
I reached out to him to inform him of my itinerary to take the children on a cruise and did ask for the passports, but they weren't needed in this cruise.
And Mr. Hudson actually refused to cooperate with obtaining passports, correct?
To sign for the passports, yes.
You said passports weren't necessary, so they weren't obtained.
Correct.
As far as the minor children, what were the sleeping arrangements on this cruise?
Was in my room with my husband and his 9-year-old daughter, and then shared a room with his stepsister and stepbrother. Well, the room was directly
Frederica,
across from
what's up?
ours.
What was the stepsister's name?
Anna Kepner.
And what was the stepbrother's name? And how old is
14.
and how old was Anna?
18.
Now, who made the decision to have these 3 teenagers in one room in the cruise?
We had talked it over with our traveler agent, and that was what was suggested.
Did you have to sign any special permission for
No,
the children to reside together? So was it a mutual decision between yourself and your husband?
correct.
GP, wait till you hear from Anna's ex-boyfriend.
And at some point, did you discover that one of the children had passed away?
Yes,
And when was that you discovered that?
Friday morning.
When was the last time that you had seen the child before that Friday morning?
Thursday night.
You know approximately what time?
Right around 6:30.
And your child, did you see him that Thursday night as well?
Yes.
What time did you see him at?
Real quick, Frederica says, I'm doing okay. It's still cold, very cold, and it's snowing again. All of you guys experiencing this record winter weather, be safe. Don't take it lightly. And if you don't need to travel, don't go out there on the roads.
Closer to 7. Just a little bit before 7.
What was he doing at that time?
He was headed back to his room.
Do you know whether or not present in the room as well?
They all were headed back to their room, as far as I know.
So where was their room in relation to your room?
Right across the hall. You walked out my door, their door was right in front of it.
Did you return to your room that evening?
Yes,
What time did you return to your room?
7 o'clock.
7 p.m.?
Yeah, right. It was actually closer to 7:30.
Did you stay in the room for the rest of the night
Yes.
with the teenagers across the hall? Did you ever go in and check
What kind of vibes are you getting from Chantel? How you guys? What's your opinion on her?
on them?
No, I had went to sleep.
Good, Frederica. Stay in there. Stay snuggled.
Do you know if Christopher went across the hall to check on them?
Not that I know of.
Do you know if he left the room that night on that Thursday night?
I never seen him leave the room.
Well, you were asleep at 7, so no reason to see him doing anything.
As far as goes,
So when I say what kind of vibes are you getting from her, do you think at all that she's kind of lying or leaving out information that might help implicate her 16-year-old son? Do you think it's possible that she's leaving information out?
have you made arrangements to reside with a relative?
Correct.
And why did you do that?
It was something that his father and I mutually decided.
Did you suggest it to him, or did he suggest it to you? Who brought it up first?
It was something that we had talked about because neither one of us could bring him back to our home.
Frederica says, to me, it seems she's very uncomfortable and is really not answering the questions fully. Yeah, she's kind of has this weird, like, scrunched up face. Like she's trying to look like a grieving person. But really more frustrated than anything. GP says, I think she's lying. What do you think she's lying about? Too quick and very cautious about what she says. Yeah, it looks very
Why
rehearsed.
couldn't you bring back to your home?
Looking out for the safety of the other children in the home.
From what? Well, my other son, of course.
Now, when you talk about the home, you have a home with Christopher, your husband?
Yes.
And does Christopher have other children that come to that home?
He has 2 other kids.
And one of them being,
Correct.
and the younger child that slept in the room with you as well?
Yes.
Still allowed to come to the home?
Yes.
How many bedrooms is the home that you're in?
We have a 3-bedroom house with an addition room downstairs.
So what are the sleeping arrangements when all the kids were there prior to this cruise?
The 2 youngest girls shared a room, the 2 boys shared a room, and Anna had her own room.
As far as the evening, that Thursday evening on the cruise, had you been drinking at all?
No.
I agree
Had you
with
drank it all during the cruise?
I had 2 pina coladas and a blue Hawaiian earlier in the week, but it wasn't on the same day. It was like 1 a day.
Do you know if the children, based on being in international waters, could I drink alcohol?
No.
You don't know?
No, they didn't. They're not old enough.
What about Anna?
I don't know.
Weren't you aware that the children were gambling at some point?
Well, Anna's 18, so I know she was in there at one point in time, but the other kids were not.
You're sure that the other kids were not gambling?
I'm sure the other kids were not gambling.
It says here the minimum age for purchasing and consuming alcohol on most Carnival cruise lines ships is 21 years old, regardless of whether the ship is in international waters or docked in a port with a lower drinking age.
As far as does he have any diagnoses?
He has ADHD.
And how long has he been diagnosed with ADHD?
About 3 or 4 years.
Those after your separation from Mr. Hudson, correct?
About that timeline, yes.
And does he receive medication for his ADHD?
He does.
And what medication was he on for his ADHD?
Methylphenidate.
Would you pronounce that for me and spell it, Pam, if you know?
Methylphenidate, I don't know the spelling.
Okay,
The name brand's Concerta. That
okay,
helps.
thank you.
And how often would you take that medication?
Every morning.
Okay, it says here alcohol plus stimulants and ADH meds are considered a stimulant. Can cause you to drink more than intended, poor judgment, increased impulsivity, risky behavior, and aggression.
And did he take the medication on the cruise with him?
Yes.
I know. GP says, damn, what a lush, a drink a day. To me, it's like bullshit. You know what I mean? It reminds me of the baby Lisa case where her mom at first was like, oh, yeah, I had a couple glasses of wine. Come to find out, bitch had a box of wine, right? More than 10 glasses. I'm not judging, I drink wine straight out of the bottle. I don't give a shit, but I don't lie about it. You know what I mean? You definitely don't want to get all fucked up when you're supposed to be watching after your family. So she reminds me of the mother in the baby Lisa case giving an interview where she kind of had this scrunched up face and she was really kind of like, I don't know what you would call that, argumentative, I guess, or I didn't do anything wrong. Maybe I had a drink or two, but I didn't have anything to do with what happened, or what happened because of what I did.
He also takes a nighttime pill as well.
The same medication?
No, it's clonidine.
Clonidine.
What is that for?
Insomnia.
Did you hold on to the medications?
Yes.
What was the other medication she mentioned?
Did you make sure he took his medications every day?
Clonidine.
He took his morning pill every day, and he missed 2 doses of his clonidine at night.
Lowers blood pressure by calming the nervous system. Sometimes used
You held
for
on to the Clonidine
anxiety
as well?
and opioid withdrawal,
Yes.
Yes, sorry.
sleep problems.
And what do you mean he missed the doses? What happened there?
He went to bed before he got it. He was already asleep.
Okay. Clonidine and alcohol. Extreme sedation can lead to passing out, can dangerously slow breathing. Both alcohol and clonidine lower blood pressure, can cause fainting, dizziness, falls, dangerous low blood pressure. Cause confusion, disinhibition, poor judgment, severe dizziness, fainting, extreme confusion, breathing problems.
Including that Thursday night?
No, Thursday night he didn't get it.
Thanks for hanging out,
I fell
CJK.
asleep before he did.
Good to see everybody. Welcome in.
So just to make sure I understand, ma'am, while on the cruise, he missed taking that nighttime medication twice. One of the nights was because he fell asleep prior to taking
Yes.
the medication, and the other night was the night before
Correct. I fell asleep before he
he
did.
fell asleep, so he did not get the medication the night.
Yeah, he didn't come in
before
ask
the
for it.
incident.
Yeah, she's saying he didn't have it. Doesn't mean he couldn't get his hands on it, or he didn't sneak in there and get it himself. You know what I mean?
And was attending school prior to the cruise?
Yes.
And after the cruise, did she have to be removed from school?
They placed her on homeschool. They just unenrolled her this past Monday.
And why is that?
Okay, so because of his potential actions, right? This 16-year-old boy, it was literally like a nuclear bomb went off in their families. It's affected both households, the father's and the mother's new families, step siblings. They had to pull the youngest kids out of school. Like now they're being homeschooled. The suspect is living with his grandparents, and his siblings can't even go around him because he may murder them. This is fucked up. This is why true crime is so scary. How the hell could you ever see something like this happening? You let your guards down on vacation. You're letting these boys stay with this girl. They have no blood relation, and they might even be angry at the parents, wanting to lash out, wanting to do things to hurt, their parents. So you have to do your best to not put your children in these situations, right? It's like you put them in the situation, you say, "Oh, nothing bad's going to happen." That's not what you say. You don't say, "Oh, well, it's most likely not going to happen." You say, "No, I'm not going to do it, so there's no chance of it happening," right? You nip it in the bud. You make decisions that keep it from happening in the first place. There's no potential, there's no possibility, right? Keep them separated from the beginning, and this would have never happened, right? Because apparently there were red flags and signs that the 16-year-old boy had a sexual attraction to Anna. Everybody knew it. Her ex-boyfriend knew it. Everybody in the house knew it, apparently. He was jumping on her, invading her space in the home, flirting with her constantly. So as a parent, you never let your guards down, especially on a cruise ship, and then put these kids all under the same roof. You can't do that. You just can't do it. But the flip side to that coin, it's like as a parent, and what normal mind is thinking, okay, well, my 16-year-old stepson is going to attempt to sexually assault his 18-year-old stepsister. And when that is unsuccessful, he's going to do what most predators do, right? What does a sadistic psychopath do after they commit a sexual assault or attempted one? Do we all remember what Richard Allen did? Do we all remember what happened to Carly Bruscia? Right? These guys all claim that their intentions were not to kill. But once a sexual predator commits the murder, it's all about covering it up and treating the victim like trash, because these people are sadistic psychopaths. Human beings are nothing to them. It's just part of their self-centered lifestyle. And they stay compartmentalized. They use superficial charm to lower our guards so that they can get in closer to us. And they always want to be very helpful. Like, no thanks. I don't need any help from you, bud. GP, that's actually a bad drug to be given a child. I don't like that. I don't like medicating kids, unless it's something really severe. Sometimes people excuse it because they don't want to deal with it or can't believe it, so they ignore. Yeah, this is something that I'm trying to preach. Never, ever let your guards down. Never, ever, ever do it. Don't create the potential for an issue, right? Don't put these potential situations in one room where something bad could happen, and then in the back of your mind say, "Oh, well, I trust them," right? I trust these children. I'm going to go ahead and have a pina colada, mix it with my medication, and I'm going to fucking pass out, and I'm going to wake up early and do all the things that I have on my itinerary, right? I'm not even thinking about the kids. They're fine, right? Anna's an adult now. He's 16, and I believe there was another 14-year-old boy, right? They're like the three amigos. They're all best friends. Nothing's going to happen. This is my time. I'm letting my guard down. Yeah, he's sexually attracted to her, but in what world is he going to like attack her, or, Anna could kick his ass. Like, I'm not worried about that. I'm going to bed. But instead of saying, "Oh, well, I trust them," forget all of that. Don't even allow it to be a possibility. If you feel in the back of your mind that there's a potential for something bad to happen, and the other side of you is like, "Oh, well, I trust them," or, "Oh, that would never happen to me," scratch all of that. Don't even allow the possibility to exist, is the way I look at it.
That was their choice to unenroll her,
Say their choice. Who are you talking about?
the school's choice. It had nothing to do with her behavior or anything. It had to do with the media.
Let's go to Frederica. What's up, Frederica? I know that was really weird to put a girl in with the guys and expect everything's going to be okay and to be fine. Well, the truth is, Frederica, it was the kids' choices. You know, they made the choice. Um, they don't want to be with the parents. Like, I don't want to be sleeping near you. I don't, let all the kids hang out together because we're going to run around this ship together, right? As our group. This is our group. Because I guarantee that they were friends, right? And the whole sexual attraction was probably a huge annoyance for Anna. Because there was if he is the guy who did this boy, and really I haven't seen any proof of that. If he did do this, he's probably been doing a lot of sick shit that nobody noticed, right? Hiding in the room, placing cameras in the room, spying on her in the bathroom or in the, whatever, like stalking her basically. There's probably a lot of that going on that nobody even saw. And I think there's going to be an arrest real
Currently on
soon, and we're going
homeschool
to
status
find that out.
indefinitely?
That's
No,
my
she's
prediction.
being enrolled into another school.
That's the Sleuth Crew prediction.
Did you discuss that with Mr. Hudson?
I let him know that he had asked me to let him know when she was enrolled, and I told him I would. But I had just found out this week that she was unenrolled from the school.
As far as going to be allowed to come back to your home at any point?
At this time, no. Not with the FBI investigation.
Jeez. Imagine saying that out loud
Whether or
about
not
your
your husband will
16-year-old
allow him to
kid.
return to the home even if the investigation is concluded?
As of right now, he's not coming back to the home.
And, no further questions from me.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, because of time, we're going to have to move on. So let's go ahead and shut that part down. And let's go to the oldest brother, the 18-year-old brother. And he's going to kind of tell a story about how Chantel and Anna's father basically kidnapped him one day. That's the way he makes it seem.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
There he is right there. I believe his name is Andrew.
Yes. So if there's any witnesses, you said, Mr. Molinari, that you have no witnesses here?
No, just Andrew Hudson and then Thompson.
He's the older brother of TH.
Okay. And there's no other witnesses from you, Ms. Addison?
No, they're outside.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hudson, please raise your right hand before me. Affirm that everything you tell the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
And Andrew seems like a sweet
I'm
kid
going to need you, sir, to speak loud into the microphone so I can hear
or
you.
a sweet guy now. He's an adult.
Mr. Molinari, you may proceed.
Will you state your name?
Andrew Hudson,
And Andrew, how old?
18,
And when did you turn?
October 4th this year.
October 4th, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
And Andrew, where do you live?
I'm with my dad.
And where is that?
I would like to sit down with Andrew and be like, Andrew, is your brother weird? Tell me about your brother. You think he did this? Like, if anybody knows about all the weird, sick shit that's going on, potentially, right, with the 16-year-old boy, Andrew knows. Andrew knows, right, whether he did this shit or not.
In Ridge Manor, I believe.
What county is that?
Hernando.
And how long have you lived with your father?
About 2 years.
Has your father ever denied you access to your mother, Sean?
No.
The entire time that you've been, has he ever told you that you cannot speak with, communicate, visit, or see Chantel in any way, shape, or form?
No.
So, are you currently in school?
Yes.
let's back up a little bit. There was a time when, obviously your mother was married to Thomas, you know that?
Yes.
Obviously, you were alive during that time period.
Mhm.
Do you ever recall a time in which your father verbally, physically abused or assaulted any of your siblings, either TH or PH?
No, sir.
You ever see a time when he was verbally or physically abusive to your mother or something?
No, sir.
Now, they got divorced, correct?
Yes.
And then as a result of the divorce, you had to do, like most normal kids do, you had to do everything. Not a great thing, right? You gotta say this and that.
Yes.
And so roughly between 2022 and let's call it January 2024, did you in fact have regular visitation with your father in your name?
Yes.
And were your siblings, both PH and TH, were they present during these visitations?
Yes.
Was there ever a time that you witnessed either yourself or your siblings saying they did not want to visit with or spend time with their father?
No, sir.
Sure.
During the time, no.
Has there ever been any allegations of abuse, physical or otherwise, by your father of yourself or any of the children?
I'm aware of apparently a BB gun, someone getting shot with a BB gun, but other than that,
And then, so during that time period, was there ever a time
Damn, he made it sound like his father was accused of shooting one of the kids with a BB gun or something.
in which either yourself or BH or TH said they did not want to spend time with your father?
no.
So I want to move a little bit forward to 2024, and you're in high school, right?
Yes.
And what year are you now?
I'm a senior year, 12th grade
And what are you going to graduate?
this year.
And how are you doing in school?
I'm doing good.
Going to graduate on time?
Yes, sir.
And do you have any plans for after school?
I plan on going to trade school to possibly get put on an oil rig out the Gulf.
And did you actually apply to trade school?
I've been looking around to see what trade schools are open to it.
And that's something you want to pursue after?
That sounds gnarly.
Yes, sir.
Working on an
So I
oil
wanna take
rig
it
in the
back a little
Gulf.
bit now to the spring of 2024.
Good luck, buddy.
And was there an occasion in which your mother told you that she wanted to move to Titusville with both your two other siblings?
She said yes.
And what she said?
She said that she was going to move over there with those two and that I could finish out my senior year of high school over here.
So your mother specifically told you that you could spend the rest of your time, your high school time, here, well, here in your neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
Was that important?
Yes, sir.
Why was that important to you?
It was my senior year and I knew everybody over here and all my family's over here, so I would.
What high school did you go to?
Hernando High School.
And those are people that you went to high school with for.
So Andrew's not in this photo right here. So I believe this is the suspect right here. TH.
The entire time there?
My whole life.
And then, so, did there come a time when you told your mother that you did not want to go to Brevard County or to Titusville with her?
I told her that I was thinking about staying over with my dad after I finished high school.
And how did your mother respond to that?
She said that this is what she was afraid of and that this is why she didn't want me staying over here.
So I want to fast forward to
Typical
the incident
bullshit.
on April 22nd, 2024. You remember roughly that day?
Yes.
So what happened on that day?
I was called up to the front office and I originally didn't know what was going on, so I came up without my stuff. I realized my mom was there to pick me up, so I had to go back to my classroom and grab my stuff. And when I walked out to the car with them, they asked for me to give them my phone, and they powered off my phone and then told me.
Let me stop there for a second, just so I can break it down. So the time that you were being called to, was it the principal's office or?
It was to the front office, the main office.
At the time that you were called, did your mother communicate to you at all, hey, the reason why that she was going to school?
No, sir.
Did you have any knowledge or idea that your mother was going to school to get you on that particular day?
No, sir.
And then when you get there, were you surprised that you saw your mother?
Yes, sir.
Was Christopher Kepner there as well too?
I don't remember if he was in the office at the time, but he was in the car for sure.
And then, so the mother, Chantel, escorted you from the office to Christopher Kepner's vehicle?
Yes. Well, it's our vehicle, but yes.
And then, so what happened once you got in the vehicle?
They asked for my phone. They took my phone. I powered it off, and then
So your phone did have a Life 360 or tracking device?
yes.
Does a Life 360 or tracking device work if your phone is turned off?
No, not to my knowledge.
And then, so did you have any means to communicate with your father or anyone else about what was going on at that particular moment?
I was going to try to text my dad, but I couldn't because they had my phone. I couldn't communicate with anybody.
Did you want to go with your mother? and
Interesting.
on that day?
No, sir.
Was that against your will?
Yes, sir.
And then, so what?
For me, this kind of creates a little bit of suspicion of the parents of those two. Right, that they can kind of orchestrate something like this and that they would even go through with it.
Happened once you were in the vehicle and then you started the trial?
I gave them my phone. They powered it off. They told me wherever I was going that I was going to start school over here, which was against everything we've talked about. I told them no, I wasn't. And when we tried going to a stop, I tried getting out.
Yeah, think about how fucked up that is. We're talking about an 18-year-old boy. He's spent his entire life in one area, all the same friends, all the way through from kindergarten all the way to right before he's about to graduate. Then you have this crazy woman that shows up and she's like, oh, because I'm fighting with your dad, I'm going to uproot you, take you away from all of your friends, away from your girlfriend, and you're going to graduate over here with a bunch of fucking strangers. To me, that's extremely selfish as a parent. Vindictive.
So at any time were you trying to harm yourself or commit suicide?
No, sir.
You were just, what was your intention of trying to get out of the vehicle once they came to a stop?
Trying to get out of the vehicle so they couldn't take me away from everything.
And then what did Christopher Kepner do at that point?
They had held me against the seat, and he put his arm around the back of my neck, holding me up against the front seat. And she held me there as well.
Right, the muscle.
Was your mother still in the front seat or did she go to the back seat?
Stepdad, Anna's father over here, trying to impress his new woman and show that he's Mr. Tough Guy with his young buck of a stepson, 18 years old, you know, trying to show him he's still who the boss is.
At that time, she had crawled to the back seat and started holding me.
And then Christopher Kepner, what exactly did he do with his arm?
He put his arm around my neck, like pushed me up against the front seat.
So was your hand against the front seat?
Yes, sir.
And,
Sounds pretty violent.
Did you remain conscious the whole time or did you black out? Or?
I believe I blacked out once or twice.
He basically choked him out. Okay, so I have one more that I want to show you guys, and then I gotta go. But this is probably the most important video. Well, actually, before I play that,
And
this
you
one will
do
be-
have these nice lamps.
So right above the bed, you have an abstract.
Here, let's this one's just real quick. So I believe they were staying in what's called the stateroom. So I'm assuming both the boys would have been on the bunks here, and she would have been in the bed. Now, if you lift up this mattress, the bottom of this box, I believe, is hollow. So either she was placed under this bed or under one of these beds here, the lower bunk. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what the room looked like. Right, she comes stumbling in. She's an adult now. She probably made some friends. They bought her some drinks. She was all fucked up. She comes walking in, lays down. Creepy stepbrother's up here looking down at her. Walks over. You know, starts seeing if she's awake, poking at her, seeing, you know, oh, she's drunk. starts to take advantage of her. Wakes up during the altercation, starts screaming. He takes a pillow and covers her face to keep her quiet until she dies. Panics, doesn't know what to do, takes her body, puts it underneath one of the beds, covers her up, and goes right to bed like the sadistic psycho he is. Hypothetically. Okay, now this is the ex-boyfriend of Anna. They broke up just before the cruise. He was actually invited to go. I mean, did he have a ticket? Could he have been there without anybody knowing it? But either way, this is Josh, Anna's ex-boyfriend. And he has a lot to say about the
It'll only take a second. Your name is Josh, too. Spell your last name.
TEW.
All right. And how old are you?
15.
15. And how did you meet Anna?
Through a past relationship last year.
And how did you actually meet with her? At school?
At school.
At school. What type of person was she?
She was a great woman, you know. I met her at school.
And the circumstances behind her death, you find them to be suspicious? And if so, tell me why.
It was suspicious because I knew that the brother did it, and yeah.
How do you know?
Did you hear what he said? He said, yeah, it was suspicious. It was almost like he's like, suspicious isn't the word. I just knew that the brother did it.
It's because I knew that the brother did it, and yeah.
How do you know that?
Because of the past things that happened with him, like I was saying.
Which were those?
About the FaceTime and stuff.
What's the FaceTime?
Whenever I was on FaceTime with her.
He's like, come on, let's hear it.
And I was on FaceTime with her, and she was laying down, and the brother tried to go on top of her. And
You saw that.
yeah. And then
How did she react to that?
Okay, did you guys hear that? He said that he was on FaceTime with Anna, and while they're on FaceTime, the stepbrother didn't realize that he could see him. And he actually climbed up on Anna and was like getting on top of her inappropriately.
I was like, what the hell are you doing in the room, you know? Then he got scared and like ran away. And I heard his footsteps like running through the house, you know, because he got caught.
So when you learned of her passing, you know, what was your reaction?
I ran away. He ran away. It was kind of crazy.
And when you learned that she passed away, how did you feel?
I felt very sad, you know, because that was my first love. She was the best that ever happened to me. And I'd even walk to her work to see her, you know, for like 5-10 minutes.
Did you talk with her before her death?
Like 3 weeks before it, yes, ma'am. I was actually supposed to go on the cruise that she went on.
See, he said I was supposed to be on that cruise. So how do we know he didn't just show up? Did he have a ticket? I mean, it's not likely, right? Occam's razor, right? It's most likely the 16-year-old brother, stepbrother. But we'll see. You know, you don't want to assume or just get tunnel vision on that. Or you'll let people like somebody that decided to sneak on the cruise, right? A jealous individual. Maybe he wanted to surprise Anna, shows up and she's drinking with, you know, some other guy or something. And then he freaks out, commits the murder. Or maybe it could even be her stepmom or her father. Maybe even an employee on the ship or somebody that she met. Killed her. And then when nobody was looking, he brought her back into the room and her underneath the bed.
But we broke up before that.
When did you split?
What's up, Robert?
We split up like 6 months ago.
6 months.
He definitely did it.
And everyone said she's just a bright light. So many people wearing bright colors today. How would you describe what kind of person she was?
She was a great person.
That's a
She
good question.
definitely knew how to throw on her outfit. She was great, you know. She knew how to put on colors. It wasn't like a basic outfit.
And this is your mom?
Yes,
She's
ma'am.
okay with you talking to us?
Yeah, but we need to go.
Okay, just wanted.
Okay.
What should happen next?
Thank you.
What do you think should happen?
I think that he should get thrown in jail for as long as possible. And yeah.
And when did you move into the house?
I have no idea.
Like a year or two?
Maybe like a year ago. I think so.
You'd
I don't
You'd
know.
like to see justice for
Yeah,
for your
I'd like
first
to
love.
see a lot of justice. Yes,
Has she ever complained about his behavior before?
yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
What did she complain about?
She complained about
Listen.
him being uncomfortable, or her being uncomfortable around him, because of the fact that he tried to go on top of her in the bed, and because of that, she tried to go and stay the night at her friend's house, and to dodge the staying the night at her house.
She ever happened
more than once?
Yes.
She ever bring that up with
How many
her?
times did they happen?
It happened one time, around like 3 a.m. that night.
They told me when you were on the FaceTime call with
Yes, sir.
friend.
Yes.
Around 3 a.m. She's laying there, and he doesn't even think that she's talking to anybody, and he just starts getting on top of her. Right? So when you see this room, it kind of paints a
And
picture.
you do have these nice.
Right? Kind of paints a picture of what might have happened. So at home, Anna gets her own room. So right, that only makes sense that she gets the big bed. Two boys aren't going to want to sleep next to each other, and if she's going to share the room, right? Oh, I get the big bed. Hell yeah, I'll stay in there. But just looking at this and listening to what the boyfriend said, you kind of get this weird feeling that she was laying here, probably right around 3 a.m., the witching hour, if you will. This fucking weird guy is watching her, coming down, poking at her, throwing stuff at her, and says, oh man, she's knocked out. This is what happens to a lot of these victims that the cases that we cover. You guys remember Stephen McDaniel? He became obsessed with his neighbor and his classmate. He stalked her. Laura Giddings. He stalked her. He spied on her. He had a key to her apartment. He would sneak in at night. And then on one of the occasions, he decides to touch her. Right? It's just it gets worse and worse every time. And then eventually he begins to touch her physically. And right as he touches her, Laura wakes up and startles him. And he freaks out and strangles her to death. After he strangles her, he finds it difficult to hide her body. So what does he do? He dismembers her. Why? Because he's a sadistic psychopath, and he looks at people as objects, as things, trash to be thrown away, obstacles. Same with this killer here. He had some kind of a sexual desire, no desire to hurt, maybe an inner rage, I think, but no real desire to kill. It was more sexual sadism. Went to perpetrate his crime on a vulnerable victim, right? Anna, who was passed out. And then she woke up in the middle of an assault and she began to scream. So what do you do? How are you going to keep her from yelling? Right? She's going to tell. Who knows? If he panicked that bad, I bet you, I don't know, maybe he was doing something physically, or he had himself exposed, something he didn't want anybody to know what he was doing, right? Anna's going to go and tell, right? Richard Allen, why does he kill Abby and Libby? They're going to go and tell. They're going to go and tell, and everybody's going to know that I'm a sick son of a bitch. With the information that we've received, it doesn't appear that she was strangled. It doesn't appear that there was a ligature used. It's as if she was just smothered. And when you're watching this video of the room, I mean, let's just watch this. And then you hear what the ex-boyfriend had to say about him at 3 a.m. in the morning jumping on top of her. It begins to paint a picture of what happened. What's up, Robert? All right, let's finish this quick interview, and then I got to go. It's like 20 seconds.
Did she ever report that to her father?
No, I have not. I've reported it to the FBI.
Okay, so we basically just got an inside look at an FBI tip here. So thank you guys for watching. Unfortunately, I'm under a little bit of a time crunch here. Got some things I got to take care of. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. If you want to email me, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. If you guys want to get your hands on some merch, shoot me an email. We're doing buy one and get a t-shirt free. So if you buy a hat, a hoodie, or a t-shirt, you're going to go ahead and get another t-shirt for free. We'll probably do this till the end of the week. I want to clear out. We got about a dozen shirts and a hat or two left and 2 hoodies. So once we clear that out, we're going to do a whole set of new designs. So I have some good ideas. And if you guys have any design ideas, send them to me. Shoot me an email. And we're going to vote on it. So we're going to vote on your guys' designs. And whichever one wins, we're going to put it on a hoodie. And if you win, we're going to send you, I don't know, like a gift pack or something. You know, give you a hoodie, some shirts, some stickers, and we'll call it a day. So everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. We're going live on Delphi tonight, doing a call-in. So if you guys are interested, join me there. And I'll see you later. Take care. Peace.